Okay, hello YouTube, this is Example, and I just wanted to bring to you my fully 100% automatic chicken farm. So from egg to roast chicken, this is what we've got. It's all self-sufficient, it reuses and recycles all the materials. There's no need to keep adding materials, and this is pretty awesome. It's also a concept design. I think there's probably still a few things that need to be ironed out, and some of those being how many eggs hatch chickens. Because I find that after a few hours we start getting less chickens than we started with, and there's a reason for that, because I am also collecting eggs over here in the hope that I might be able to make some cakes. So how do we, let me just quickly show you just around this thing, and then I'll explain to you how we could probably work on this and make it a bit more efficient. So let me just take you through the various bits and pieces and explain a little bit how this works. Now, we've got to start somewhere, so let's start with the dispenser that fires off the eggs. Now, the dispenser is tucked away in here. Everything goes through that dispenser, whether it's a cooked chicken, raw chicken, feathers, or eggs. They fire into, you can't quite see that in there, but there's a stair there. That's to try and help the chickens from dying, but I actually found out that giving them some headroom up there, a bit of space there, air space, stops them from getting damaged. They can't be damaged in any way, otherwise this thing doesn't work. There's a water stream underneath here, which is flowing over a bunch of hoppers, which are all facing in one direction. They all face this way, and that collects the drops. And I've got some partitions in here, so we're partitioning off the chickens, so we're keeping them in this area while they grow. And then once they've grown, we push them into this area where we keep them in here until they've laid eggs, matured and laid eggs. And then when they finally open up again, they drop down here, which is into a lava cooker. And right now there's a chicken down there, and there's a hopper underneath which collects the drops, which then gets obviously sucked or moved away by that minecart there. So and there's a piston. You can just see that nether brick fence there. That pushes the chickens into the lava, and they get cooked, and their drops fall into here and then get recycled. So they come back through and into the dispenser. And you might ask, why is that? Well, if everything comes through the dispenser, they get pushed through these hoppers, and the hoppers will sift out the items, and then they automatically get sorted and placed into the correct chest. So we've got cooked chicken, we've got raw chicken, and the feathers come down here. I haven't labelled it, the labels come off. And the feathers come down here, and this minecart is actually stuck. This is one of the flaws of the system. When you log out and it's over that rail, it will stop and not continue. So this chest comes down here, picks up the feathers, and then cuts them off to the timer, where we, I'll show that in a second. And the good thing about that is that you don't have to fill anything with random blocks to get the timer to work. It's all self-sufficient. So feathers, yeah, sure, we've got stacks of feathers, and if you really want them, you can go over there and grab them from the dispensers, which are in the timer over there. I'll show that in a second. So this is the eggs collection as well. So I collect eggs here, and also eggs end up in this hopper up here. And that happens because the minecart comes across the top here, drops an egg here, and then drops one here. That's where my system is flawed a little bit. I wanted to collect some eggs, and so I can make cakes, but it just so happens that there's more eggs getting collected here than up in here, because if there's one egg which is laid by one chicken down here ends up in this hopper, the cart takes that one egg and drops it in the first dispenser. So there needs to be multiple eggs here. The way to get around that would be to stop the cart here for a while it collects some eggs, which is what I've been doing with the feathers. But as you can see, every now and then, like I said, when you log out and log back in, the cart gets stuck here, and so I need a better timer system to get that cart moving again. Now, so we've got some young chickens growing up in here, and once they've grown up, the timer will open this gate. They'll end up in here, they'll be stuck in here, they'll grow, lay eggs, and then it'll open up again, and they'll drop to their death. Some will get burnt up straight away, but at the same time, the next time round, when this piston will fire and push them into the lava, and they'll definitely die. So we get cooked chicken, we get feathers, and we also get raw chicken. The reason why we get raw chicken is because these pistons will crush some chickens and they will die without being cooked. So that also is one issue that needs to be fixed. Right, here's the timer. So, our feathers. come on the cart up through here, roll up over the top and over these dispensers. Because we've got more than one feather in that cart, it will be dropping one in every single one, and then going back down and then picking up some more feathers. This is a great system. So basically, you have to start this off, and once it's started, it just keeps going. So it'll fire one feather into here, and when it's despawned, it'll fire off this other dispenser. Another feather will fall in here, and so on until we get all the way down here. So there's a feather, you can see it in there. Once that despawns, it'll fire off this dispenser, which will open this this gate here, and either power or unpower this signal here. Now I've got a timer here which turns, which basically sends a pulse down here quickly, which will fire that piston, which will cook the chicken, and then it'll come around here and then disconnect that signal, and that will turn that piston off again. Then it also sends a signal up here, which will open and close this gate, which opens and closes this. Well, I'm going to call them sluice gates, which hold the chickens in these different areas. It also fires off. What else does it fire off? Oh yes, it fires off this piston here, which will only push this block down if this gate is shut. And what that allows is the dispenser to fire off all its items, one after the other. But that is also delayed through this circuit here. So I've slowed that down so we don't get them popping off really fast. So how we've done that is we've used a comparator coming out of that dispenser. You can just see that there. It comes around here, delayed circuit, and then goes back into itself, which will then fire it again. But the trick is that this block needs to be powered, because it needs to power that dispenser all the time. Now for the hoppers. Yeah, it's been a bit of a mission, so let's just check out what snapshot we're in. We're in 13W02B. W02A, I was using a different method of sorting, and that broke in this new snapshot, so we had to come up with another way. And it is pretty simple, though kind of complicated in a way that it doesn't really make sense. So we've got a hopper here, which is powering this comparator, and inside, hopefully I don't break it, we've got 18 chicken and a bunch of rubbish items. If we drop a cooked chicken into here, it'll fire off a signal, making it greater than 1, so making it 2. It'll fire that. Well, that should actually be a repeater and not a comparator. Doesn't really matter. And then it lights. It unpowers that torch, which then allows this hopper to send items into the chest. So this chest basically locks items from coming in here, and no more items can be filtered through the system. But this cool thing about this is that the hopper on top. Now the hopper on top isn't actually going into this hopper. It is actually facing away from it, and even this hopper here is facing away from going into that one directly. So items can still actually filter down. And so what's cool about this is if you have a different item in this sorter here, it'll just filter through like a I don't know, like a gutter pipeline, and it'll just keep going through until it finds something that it can get sucked down into. And so this is what I've done with this system, but I'm recycling everything. So if we miss the first pass, as you can see up there, these are all facing in one direction. They then go directly down into here, but then they feed back in to that hopper there, which is then picked up by the minecart and recycles, and it has another go. Now, I did have a junk chest here, but I found there was no need for it because I knew that there's always going to be the same items in here. We're not going to be dropping random items in. We're not sorting random junk. We are sorting cooked chicken, raw chicken, feathers and eggs, and that's it. Nothing else. So there's no need to worry about random foreign objects falling in there. Unless you drop them in, like a spanner in the works, it will actually stuff the machine up eventually. So you need to be careful you don't drop a spanner in the works. So here we go again. So this minecart has stopped, and that's one of the issues with this actual build. So if you've got any ideas on how to fix that, that'd be great. So I'm going to actually add a link to the download for this in this video, and so you can have a go at it yourself, have a look, see how it works, and fix anything you want to fix, and let me know, because I'm quite interested in how you fixed it, or if you've made any changes, or if you've got any suggestions on how to make this better. This is actually my first build at making something like this myself, and I had fun doing it, but it was also a bit painful because I don't know all the different ways to wire things up. So there we go. I think I've explained everything. For a lot of you it'll be all self-explanatory anyway. Yeah. So I'm going to leave you there with that. This is an example. This is my 100% self-automated chicken farm, from egg to roast chicken. And yeah, one last thing I guess I've missed out is that each one of these takes 5 minutes, except for the first one, which gets powered directly after the other one lands on the pressure plate. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, a 20-minute cycle. But because we've got this this gate here, which only powers every second cycle, we've actually got 40 minutes. So we've got a 40-minute cycle, and that is how this works. So every 40 minutes that will change state, and every 40 minutes we should get cooked chicken. So as I said, everything ends up in these chests. Hopefully I won't break this. Here we go. We've got 8 cooked chicken in there. We've got 11 raw chicken in there. Like I said before, the piston crushes the chicken. We've got tons of eggs in here. And so I might actually remove this egg chest altogether and have the eggs actually cycle back through up to the actually just get all dropped off into that dispenser there, so that we have enough chickens to repopulate this system. Now the only danger with that is that we could end up with too many chickens, and well, some might say that's okay, but I think it would infinitely get greater, and then the whole system would be jammed up with live chickens. However, they do die eventually, so you probably end up with more raw chicken. Alright, so please comment, subscribe, and like. Tell your mates about it. Download it, have some fun with it, see how it works. And I'm sorry it's not in it doesn't really look that hot, but like I said, this is my first really big redstone build which I've done, and it works. It works. Theoretically, this will work indefinitely, but like I said, there's a few quirks which need to be fixed, and then once they're fixed, it will be 100% self-sustained chicken farm. Alright, once again, example, I'm out of here, and enjoy. Catch you all later.